Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you something a little bit different. I'm in the process of writing a book with a friend. He is asking questions and I'm channeling the answers. So he's a very curious person and he comes up with a lot of questions that are very different from what I would ask. And we decided to gather some more questions, and so I wrote down some questions and asked him to bring them through in our last session together on Friday. And one of my questions was about COVID-19 and everything that's happening here. And in the process of answering this, it was the Elohim who were speaking through me at that time. They asked that we share some of this information with everyone right now because we are in the middle of this experience with COVID-19, and there are things that were coming through in the answers that they felt were important for humanity to know at this time. So I have picked out certain things that I felt were important, and definitely the piece that they specifically brought that out where they asked us to share it. And before I get into that, I also just want to remind you that I am the author of this book. You can't see because of the light, the name, because it's shiny, but it's called The Spiritual Seeker's Guide to Happiness. And I wrote it as gathered essays from the Council of Nine. It's 350 pages long. And I was in meditation one day. This was back in 2012, actually, and the Council of Nine, in my meditation, came to me and asked me to be their scribe, asked me to gather these essays to share with people. And I think you will find it will bring great comfort in these times that we are going through. And so in the process of thinking of just sharing that today so people know that this resource is there and the energy of the Council of Nine comes through in the book, I decided again to just randomly open it to see if I might share just one paragraph. And as I started reading this one again, it's essay number 63, it's called Coming into Wholeness, I just thought the significance of where we are right now is incredible. So after I share the questions and answers that came through in the process of us writing this future book, I'm going to read to you that essay 63 from the book, The Spiritual Seeker's Guide to Happiness, and you can find the link to that on my website. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's when I was using the name Roshana, but it's probably easier just to link through my website that will take you to Amazon if you'd like to have that. And it's the kind of book that you can just open randomly to any page, read an essay before you go to bed. Every essay is 3 or 4 pages long, so it's not a lot. And a beautiful way to start your day. It's full of love and inspiration. That's what they really want us to know and understand, is that really it's about coming home to ourselves and loving ourselves, that this earthly journey is about. So enough about that. I'll go to this question and answer that they have asked me to share with you all. So the first question. At the time of this writing, the world is experiencing the global impact of the COVID-19 virus. Can you explain the bigger picture of what this virus is offering humanity? How is it changing the structure of economics, education, and government? The Elohim. Indeed, beloveds, we are delighted to address this global event that you are experiencing at this time. And we think it is obvious, of course, that this is having an impact on your economy, on your education system, as businesses are closing, schools have closed, preschools and daycares have closed. Also, with your governments then offering to support people financially, so much is changing in this now moment. You see people actually being supported by the government, and you see families actually home together, or loved ones being home caring for children instead of them being in daycares or them being in school. And so, if you were to live in the present moment, you can see that the change has already happened. And this is what we would like you to grasp in a sense, that living from the moment, instead of projecting yourselves into the future of what you think may happen on the other side of this, living in the moment tells you that it is already shifted and changed, and tells you what the potentials are for what it will be. And I'm just going to interject here because I found this really fascinating. I'm sure you've all heard that it is said that time is not linear. Everything happens at once in this now moment, which is hard for our minds to grasp. But if we can let go of trying to intellectualize that and understand it in that way, and just kind of understand it from the heart, that if everything is in the now moment, and this is the way we are living now, then we could see what they're saying, that this is the new way. It's really something to give some contemplation to when you have time to think about it. And that is what we've just spoken of. People being fully supported by government and children being cared for more by their families. So of course you are going to rearrange and bring through certain structures on the other side of this virus. But we will say to you that nothing will ever be the same again. For too many people have wanted restructuring and changes, and they will then, on the other side of this, make demands and have expectations that will allow life to become simpler. As well, many people are finding that they can do work online and support their staff in working from home and developing more of their business online. You can see that what is happening through this pandemic is that much is being restructured in your world. For those who are home and finding it difficult and challenging, they are the ones who may experience a greater lockdown because they need that experience of not being able to run from themselves, not being able to busy themselves through their activities and their technology. What you can see coming out of this is a system that is more in alignment with the people and what the people want in this now moment. Even with your school system, it will be somewhat like magic that because even in this downtime and this pulling away, the whole structure is going to be considered, and the whole way of offering schooling will shift, and what is offered in the education system will shift, just as your economy is going to have to comply with more consideration for everyone in the system, not just the people at the top. And more information is going to be revealed about the imbalance that has been happening in your economic system. Even the imbalance in your government, where you think if people are elected to be for the people, that they wouldn't even want to be receiving the greed that has been part of your government system. For example, the exorbitant retirement income and the ability in Canada to go to the Senate and still earn so much money. It's just not a reflection of caring for the all. And so what you will find on the other side of this is that the structures and the people who have held them into place, many of them have not wanted to be corrupted by the system, but in a sense had no choice. Many of them truly would like to offer more to the people, but have not had the choice. So you will see that structure changing. Your politics will indeed come more into balance about where your money goes, who gets bailed out, and how that system will change of people being bailed out and money poured into industries that's only paying the industry and not paying for the people who are employed there. It will all shift and change. There is something about this withdrawal from it all that is allowing a complete restructuring to happen energetically, that then will bring about this new way. That is why this virus is going to be impacting you for another 2 or 3 months, because the longer that society is shut down, the more opportunity there is for this energetic shift in what is going to bring about this new way. It gives time for that shift to happen and begin to restructure energetically what is going to be coming in to replace what has been. So they're saying that the more we are in this time of withdrawal and out of that former system, the more that the energy can come of living in this new way that then won't support the old system. It's like it will have to change going back because of the restructuring that is happening just with us being sort of moved out of that old system. And so Donald says, thanks for that positive outlook, and that people have always sought fairness and compassion. And so the next question, in these times of great change, many are fearful for what is lost, looking for the old way of doing and being to return. Can you speak to this and explain the significance of these times that we are in? And the Elohim respond, indeed, dear ones, we would say that the old system was not what many thought it was. Many are wishing and hoping for a system that actually kept them suppressed without even realizing that they had been suppressed. We would say to those who are wishing for things to go back to the easy way, which is what the past often represents for people, it simply isn't going to happen, because it wasn't as easy as you thought. The thing here is that those who do not have the foresight for what the future will bring, do not have the awareness that what is being lost is hardship and struggle. What will come in its place is a world full of grace and love and ease. It's just that in this time of transition, it's difficult and challenging to go through it. But it is like having a fever or a flu. It's hard when you're in it, but on the other side, you're healthier for it because your body has gone through a major transition of cleansing out what you could call shadow and darkness within the physical vessel. And this is very much the same. In this COVID-19 pandemic, you are in the period of going through this shift and change that is going to bring about more love and grace on the other side. It's worth the hardship, beloveds. We are not dismissing the impact of lives lost in this pandemic, and yet we would say that the souls who chose this pandemic as their way of leaving the planet would have chosen another way. They were ready to leave, and they did this in service to humanity. They decided on a soul level from the higher self to join this pandemic of those lost souls who passed during this time, to help to trigger more compassion within humanity and to impact the lives of those loved ones left behind in service to the all, including the loved ones who are grieving. So we would say that this time is a great opportunity, and those who mourn the past simply do not have the awareness and understanding what is on the other side of this. The next question, as the old world falls apart, what can we expect to see rise up in its place? What is the impact of the thoughts of humans in this restructuring? We would say to you, dear ones, that what you can expect to see on the other side, indeed, does come from the thoughts of every individual in this experience. We would say that there are many who are struggling and judging, and yet there are many more who are truly coming together and truly acting out graciously in the world, and asking themselves what they can do to be of service and to be of support to others. There are many more who are not actively reaching out, but appreciating what they have. Once they receive the comfort of knowing that the government is supporting people financially, imagine people who have struggled financially for so long, having the grace of being supported by the government for a few months so that they can simply be. And this energy of knowing that you are not needing to worry every day about your basic needs is going to shift the energy of this country, because there are many, many people who live that way. As the politicians in the different governments around the world are offering programs to support the people, all the people being supported begin to relax and feel gratitude and connect with one another from a more relaxed state of being. This is going to have a significant impact again on the energy frequency of your earth. Just as the environment, as you have seen, has recovered so quickly from the lack of industry in the world, so too the emotional environment, which is mass consciousness energy that is always alive in the ethers, is also going to cleanse and purify, you could say, because people are going to have less concerns in the world. All of this is impacted by the thoughts of humans as much as smog from your industry. It is a very similar way in which it's going to create more cleansing in the world and a purer essence of light that will awaken in the world. We want you to know that just as people will not want industry to go back to the way it was, in that it created so much pollution on the earth, so too, people will not want to go back to systems like the 9 to 5 or the 9 to 7 that they've been working through for so long. There will be some rebellion to going back to that system, so more and more people will be seeking alternatives and finding ways to create the life that they would prefer to be living. This again speaks to the difference that is happening in these months that this pandemic is affecting humanity at this time. Again, we ask for people who are fearful of all the changes happening in the world, what would you like to offer as comfort to ease those fears? The Elohim. We would say that if you can understand that change is always bringing in something new, and that the whole reason that you are here on this earth and in every aspect of your soul's experience is for growth and expansion, how are you going to grow if things never change? Also, for people to know that this change that you are experiencing at this time is a profound shift on the earth. Whereas before the earth may have experienced ice ages, now you're experiencing this evolution in the frequency of humanity. And so, we would like people to know that this is a grand opportunity to be here. Yes, you are going through change, and yes, it's not easy, and yes, your body frequency has to change. So you are experiencing things in your body, and what you see in the outside world is shifting and changing. Yet, if you could see it from a level of excitement to be here, because all change leads to something better, and know that what is shifting, again, is the old foundation that was not supportive, and what will be birthed in its place has potential to be somewhat euphoric. It depends on humanity and what you choose to envision for yourself in your now moment that creates your future moment. Know that this change is leading to something better. This change is necessary. It's like a snake shedding its skin. You cannot grow and expand and still hold the energy in the way of being that you were in the third dimensional earth, in the fifth dimensional earth, and so you must shed that skin. But 5D is much lighter and more gracious than what you are leaving behind. Will there be a lot more turmoil and earth changes as this transition into a new era unfolds? The Elohim. There will be more earth changes. However, again, it is delightful that we have this opportunity to speak while you're in this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, because as the minds of humans settle, as you come into isolation and then more of a retreat within yourselves, then there is less of the frequency that needs to be played out through earth changes, or through the fires and floods and storms and everything that you've seen in the last few years upon the planet. This virus is also helping to soften things again, so that those events may not need to happen in the way that they have been in previous years. Again, we emphasize this is a grand opportunity for humanity at this time. We would even suggest that you use part of these answers to create a video to put into the world right now, so that people would know what a grand opportunity for everyone to come into a place of stillness. Imagine everyone around the world coming into a place of stillness, how that would even magnify even more the impact of what is happening with this isolation. The more humanity uses this time to de-stress, the less earth events you will have to see. At this time, you would say, these answers really depend on how humans conduct themselves through this COVID-19 isolation in this pandemic. So they're really speaking to the fact that what we see in our lives is a result individually of our own thoughts, and as humanity as a whole, the mass consciousness of our thoughts creates what's happening in the world. And so if we can all come into stillness when we're in this time of retreat, the earth will feel that stillness and won't have to act out or use her way of cleansing and purifying, all the discordant thought forms that have been on the earth from our 3D existence. We are now living in a higher frequency. We are living in the frequency of 5D at various levels. And in this frequency, those old forms, those old thought patterns and beliefs don't have to be our experience anymore. The guides really want us to know that we can let all of that go and create a whole new world and just leave the past behind. And the more we come into stillness, so in these times, instead of stressing and worrying, and just be present in your own reality, if you're home caring for someone who is sick with this virus, then of course you have something to be concerned about. Or if you're working in the hospitals or another job where you're essential service and you're still working, yes, I understand that you're stressed and concerned. And for people who don't have that stress, and that we can take it upon us to isolate so we're not threatening anyone else in this world, and just use that time for stillness, we can change how the world is going to be on the other side of this. They really want us to know that. And then Donald commented, there is a mass meditation planned for the 4th of April, and assuming that all social media is still up at that time, that would be a great opportunity for people to come together and meditate in stillness. And the Elohim answer, absolutely. And we would add to that people not just do it that one time and think they've done their bit. It's important for people in every moment to be aware of their thinking and conscious of choosing to believe in the highest and best outcome and finding peace within themselves in every moment. And then Donald added again, I would just like to add a question in here as to how Mother Earth is doing and coping with the planetary changes physically to Mother Earth. How is Gaia holding up in the process? And the Elohim had a bit of a smile and they said, she's doing very well. For her, it is a beautiful moment of grace, as if all her children are sleeping at once. Imagine that you are a parent and you have all these children. You would never have a moment of peace. And here she is now, all her children. Some of them are stirring, but they're all quiet at once. Oh, what a beautiful gift it is for Gaia. She loves you more in this moment. We say that almost as a joke, like parents talk about how beautiful a sleeping baby is. So I'll leave it with that for those answers from the Elohim about what we're going through. I hope it gives you some more insight, and that you receive that invitation to use the time to come into stillness. And now, as I said, I'll bring through that essay from this book, The Spiritual Seeker's Guide to Happiness, which is channeled from the Council of Nine. Again, this one is called Coming into Wholeness. And so it is, beloveds, that we come before you once again, and again we offer our love to you, and the joy of being called before the beautiful beings of light that you are. And we say to you, beloveds, that this is the time for you to be asking yourselves, what is your purpose here on this planet in this time of great transition? What is your role in this transition? How can you best be serving the planet and all who walk upon her? How do you spread your light in this world? It's time to find the answers to these questions, for they will lead you to the next step. You can see how I felt like this is so impactful for what we're going through right now. It's like this book is timeless in a sense, really. You are in times of discovery. People are discovering who they truly are. Parents are discovering the wisdom of their children. The world is discovering that change is upon us. In that discovery is the calling to your path, your role in this transition back to the light. In order for Gaia to be all that she came to be, it is important for you all to be fully who you have come to be. Your part of the divine plan cannot be fulfilled by someone else. You cannot hand it over, like asking a casual worker to take your shift for a day. It does not work this way with this plan. You being you is required for all the parts to fit. So stop hiding from your full self. What are your gifts, your interests? How do they serve the world? Let that be your guidance as to where you begin or expand your position in these times. By doing what you love to do or are inspired to do, you will be fulfilling your piece of the puzzle. For some of you, this will mean having a profound role in the world. For others, it may look like you are doing nothing at all. And yet we tell you, you are doing your part, many of you, just by being here. Have you ever had someone tell you they feel better just by being with you? This is your clue that you are one who is accomplishing his or her role just by being. There may be more to it or there may not. Some of you are such healers that others benefit just by being in your presence. Others of you are narrators or orators. Some express your fullness through artful pursuits, be it music, painting, pottery. You are all unique, and you all have something to offer. We also encourage you to support your children in their journey by recognizing what their natural talents are. Please do not put your agenda upon them, but allow them to show you what they are interested in. Take notice and then nurture what comes forward. Do they like to draw all the time? Are they good at organizing things? Notice who they are, not who you want them to be. By nurturing all the natural interests they have, you will be doing them a great favor. You will be leading them through your loving support to that which they came to do. Let go of your desire for their education or extracurricular activities. Let them lead the way, for it is then that you will find out who they are and the skills they have brought into this world. The children of today are coming in fully aware of who they are, and they do not have the same level of forgetting that their parents did when incarnating this time. So allow yourselves to learn from them. They have much to show you. It is by allowing these changes to be and flourish on the earth at this time that you will find your way back to the light. There are those among you who are deeply psychic, so much so that they have a hard time functioning in the third dimensional world. Do not quickly assume that you know who they are and label them with some dysfunction. Look beyond what shows itself by trying to fit into your current social norms. Many of the children of today are here to show you a new way. If you try to fit them into the old system, you will cause great harm. Open your minds to receive these new children being born today and allow them to show you who they are. These children are your future more than ever before, for they come with a different genetic makeup. To say the children are the future has never been more true. Love them and support them so that they may step fully into that which they came to accomplish. Those of you with children who are very sensitive, do your best to understand them. Read about the crystal children that are coming in. Educate yourselves on how to parent these children. Be gentle, kind, and yet firm, so that they have loving boundaries on how to blossom in this world. And so it is. So it just goes to show that we all have a role to play here in these times. And I just want to add that if you're seeking support and finding challenge in these times, check out the links below. I offer channeling individually and also light language, which is very powerful in going to the core of helping people move through what's holding them back and see the bigger picture for them. It seems, pardon me, whenever I offer light language in individual sessions, that people are deeply moved by it because it's really speaking to your souls, speaking directly to your cells and bypassing the conscious mind that may want to put its own thought systems in there so it's able to get to the core of what really wants to happen for you. So I offer these sessions online and have always worked that way. So for me, it's not any different. I'm able to intuitively connect. It doesn't really matter where you are, and happy to be a support in these times of change, and wishing the best for all of you, hoping that you are all doing well, whatever is happening, and able to find that inner stillness and that inner peace that will help us all get through this at this time. Sending so much love to you. Thanks for being present. Please subscribe and like and support this channel. In that way, I'm so deeply grateful to all of you who are subscribing these days and receiving the benefit of these messages. And I love hearing your comments below and getting that feedback about what these messages mean and support to you. It really touches me deeply. So thank you all so much.